Hey folks, Adam here, and welcome back to the channel. I'm here today with a serious question. Married people out there, are you worried that your marriage might be on shaky ground? Are there silent signals that you might be overlooking? With the modern divorce rate being so ridiculously high, you might be wondering if that's headed your way next. And if it is, ignoring those signs is not going to help you. I will tell you this, from my years working with couples, I know how much couples want to avoid investigating the relationship because they're afraid it's hanging by a thread and that poking it will ruin it. But I will tell you instead that when you investigate it, that is the only chance of fixing it. So if you feel struggle in your relationship, you need to take some proactive steps to protect your bond and to fix any issues that are shaking your foundations. That's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do here today. Stay tuned as we unveil the early warning signs of a marriage that might be heading towards a rocky road and what to do to build an incredible romantic connection that protects your bond, a correcting system that makes your marriage stronger over time. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many years, master's degree in psychology, apprenticed under 5 different clinicians with 4 different licensure types, 9-year process, worked for years in the field with individuals and couples, and then retired so I could coach internationally, individuals and couples, into building incredible romantic relationships. I am here today as the attachment specialist, and I have seen the silent tremors that precede relationship quakes. More importantly, though, I have seen how the same proactive measures that stop the damage also stabilize and strengthen a marriage. The return on investment for one thing that does both is huge. So stick with me through this video, and by the end of it, you will have a clear, exact roadmap to safeguard your marriage and to boost it to new heights. If you want a bulletproof marriage, this is the video for you. So let's get right into it today. Now, there are three clear warning signs through all my years of work that I look for in a relationship that tells me if they are on rocky ground. Early warning sign number 1 is that both partners are individual islands, meaning they are not sharing their needs. They are constantly playing a guessing game about what the other person wants. They are 2 individuals in the same house. They are not a couple. They are independent instead of what we call voluntarily interdependent. They say, that is your problem. This is my problem. They solve things separately. They are 2 individuals, not a true partnership. They are also constantly guessing what the other person wants, like I said, which means they aren't asking. The communication isn't clear. There's very little intimate trust because they're both trying to do what's right and interesting. There's also a lack of common goals or visions. Each one has their own vision of the life they're trying to create, but they don't really talk about that much. Now, this is incredibly hard on a couple because you have no unifying factor. The reason I put this as number 1 is because you are going to experience some severe problems and nothing is holding you together but a piece of paper. People who say marriage is nothing but a piece of paper, this is what they're talking about right here. You are just 2 individuals who are temporarily linked up. This is not yet a true partnership. No judgment here on couples doing this. A lot of people do this, and it's why so many couples head toward divorce. Now, I've had clients come in like this. One couple in particular stands out where each one of them said, I have my checking account, I have my job, I have my issues. We only really connect for dates. We don't talk about those deeper feelings because that's a burden to the other person. We kind of tried doing that, but it was awkward, so now we just sort of do things on our own. That's an extreme version, but that shows you what we're talking about, because when one of them hits an insurmountable problem that they cannot solve alone, they're doomed. I remember another couple where the man said, I feel like if I got really sick, she'd probably leave me. And I looked at her and she said, yeah, I might. Individual islands. Now, problem number 2, early warning sign number 2, is partly the reason that these people are separated like this. Uncommunicated expectations, hidden landmines. Landmines they're afraid of stepping on. There are uncommunicated expectations happening where they don't know what the other person wants from them. So they're feeling it out carefully and silently. Every conversation is two people sweeping metal detectors for mines. The fallout of not meeting these unknown expectations leads to resentment, bitterness, unhappiness, and giving up and retreating even further into their separate islands, their fortresses, their trenches. Creates tremendous emotional distance, tremendous avoidance from the center of the relationship. If your relationship living space, if your emotional space was an apartment, each person lives silently alone in their own bedroom, and the communal space is empty and cold because they're afraid of what will happen when they go to that communal space. They're afraid of hitting an unexpected bump. This is an early warning sign of serious problems to come, because that couple cannot work as a team. There will be expectations that will come. Maybe they'll survive until maybe they have a child or some big medical issue or a big financial problem, but then they have no tools to discuss those problems. I remember I had one couple come in. They were able to sneak through this until they had a child. Then, once they had the child, neither one was willing to sit down and say, what has changed now that we have a baby? So they both just tried to pretend they parented separately and tried to parent around each other. Both thought they were the best parent who did the most work, because they didn't just sit down at the table and divide up rules, labor, concerns, talk about things openly. Both of them started falling apart. Their marriage almost split in half because they never talked about it. Serious problem. Now, both of these issues, you can get through them when times are good, when times are okay, when they're comfortable. I keep saying when things get tougher, though, it leads to problems, because early warning sign number 3, the battlefield effect. You have frequent conversations. Conversations then turn defensive. You feel like opponents trying to win against each other and convince the other person that you have a right to believe what you believe. There's resentment. There's bitterness, sometimes over stupid things, because you're really resentful about deeper connection missing, about feeling unloved, feeling unappreciated, feeling disrespected, feeling dismissed. This is almost impossible for a couple to work together at this point because you are enemies. You're shooting at each other over the tops of your trenches. You're trying to win. More than that, you're trying not to lose. I had one couple come in. They had a couple of children so far. And they were so settled into their disagreements that they couldn't even agree on if they should have date nights or not. Now, they both wanted date nights, but the one time one would propose it, the other would say, why? So that you can have fun? Then they go off and feel hurt. Then the other one later would try and say, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. And they'd try. Then the other one would snipe back at them. And it was a constant back and forth. Most couples do this. I'm going to lean in and try. Nope, I'm angry and hurt. Oh wait, I'm going to lean in and try. Nope, I'm angry and hurt. This is when you reach this. And neither one of you guys aren't trying at the same time. You're just hurting each other worse. This is the battlefield effect. You've seen this before. Now, guys, I have seen all 3 of these issues over and over and over in my years of work, and they are fixable. Even the battlefield effect is fixable. Now, they are based usually on attachment issues and communication issues. In fact, the communication issues are intimately tied to the attachment issues. So we're going to explore both of them right now and show you exactly what the problems are and where they come from. And by doing that, I will show you how to fix them, and I will show you how to build a bulletproof marriage at the same time. Because there's not a neutral ground here, you guys. You either have this locked in or you don't. When you have it locked in, you build a self-correcting system that spirals up into a great marriage over time, or a self-destroying system that spirals down into hell. Now, why on earth would couples join a relationship just to be solo individuals locked alone in their own bedroom, speaking to each other through doors and intercoms so that they don't share anything and are not in a partnership? This comes from something called attachment. Attachment is the way we connect to others to give and receive love and believe they will take us seriously, make time for us, make us a priority, build mutual fulfillment, be fair with us during conversations, conflicts, and cooperation with us instead of pushing us away, and that they want to be with us and that we are worthy of those things. That's attachment. About half of people have broken attachment, the research shows. It's roughly 50% right now. You can have broken attachment in a number of different ways. And I've done so many videos talking about that. Every one of my videos is a video that clicks together to show you a new method and a new connection, a new piece of relationships. I get into attachment styles in other videos. You can see my video, These Attachment Styles Hate Each Other. That will give you a deep dive about the dynamics back and forth of a person who doesn't feel worthy and a person who's afraid of getting hurt or trapped, that disconnect. Watch that video and check that out. These Attachment Styles Hate Each Other, or How Your Attachment Styles Impact Your Relationships. Watch those videos here on this channel for a deeper dive there. But understand that the way you connect to other people to give and receive love will come to a head in your marriage where you are most vulnerable. This is where it counts the most, and it's also where it will fall apart the most if it's not rock solid. Your past traumas, unresolved issues, all of these play out in your relationships, especially this vulnerable one. Recognize and understand these emotional pieces and patterns that you're living out. You can solve this, by the way. So many couples who are fighting and on the edge of divorce discover attachment theory, fix it, and bond incredibly during, because it is such an intimate thing to fix your attachment together as a couple. And for the first time in your life, to experience real love. That person becomes your first love all over again. It's an incredible experience that makes you feel at home with each other. If you need help with that, I built the Attachment Bootcamp video course as a resource that individuals and couples can sit down and watch together. Couples where one feels afraid and alone and sad and unwanted, and the other one feels disconnected and has never experienced real love and doesn't know what emotional intimacy is, can sit down together and through the same video course build an incredible connection together and finally get all the answers and all the skills that they've been missing. Now, I cannot overstate the importance of attachment. I have seen damn near miracles when couples fix their attachment together and they finally understand love. They solve that we are two islands and they become what's called voluntary interdependent. You are good at this. I am good at this. I need this and you need that. Let's take care of each other. It's not your problem and my problem. We have challenges that we will solve together. You solve them also through incredible communication. Let's talk about fixing the communication next. The critical role of effective communication in relationships cannot be overstated either. Improved communication prevents misunderstandings and solves confrontations. You need a couple of tips to resolve this, and I'm going to show you a couple of tips right now. The number one thing I can tell you is this. Mutual fulfillment should be the goal for both of you. Feeling at home should be the goal for both of you. And helping the other person understand what you want should be the goal for both of you. So here's a great conversation you can do to go to your partner and say this. Look, I want us to have a great relationship. Maybe we don't right now. But I'm just telling you, I want us to have a marriage that we both feel at home with each other. Both of us, not just me. I want us both to feel at home, and we don't have that right now. And maybe you are hurt, and I am too, and I'm sorry that we are both hurting. I want this with you. I'm not sure how to do it yet, but I'm learning. Can you please tell me one thing that would help you feel more at home with me? And I will give one thing that would help me feel more at home. And we will do this together. Now, when they do that, the goal is not to say less of this or don't do that. B.F. Skinner called that the dead organism test. If a dead squirrel on the side of the road could do what you tell them to do, that will not work because people can't not do. They'll just sit there thinking about it until they forget and then do it. People can do. Give them a new action. Instead of this, I need this. Stop running away from me. Stop disrespecting me. Stop dismissing me. I don't know what that looks like. Talk with me about my day. Prioritize me for 15 minutes at the end of each day so we talk. Hold my hand when we go on walks. Talk to me about your day and your challenges so I know where you're at. It's not a burden. I would love to hear from you. Here's another example that I walk couples through. If you're at a place where you're at the battlefield and you don't even believe that you both want a good marriage, each of you write down 3 things, 3 positive changes, not dead organism changes, live organism changes. 3 positive changes you want in their marriage. Each of you write down 3. They could be things like more respect, prioritizing the children, physical intimacy, sleeping together more often, affection, sharing about our day. Any of these. There's so many. What are 3 changes that would make you feel at home? Each of you write down 3. Then you put them together and say, these 6 are the guiding contract we are making as a couple. Can both of us agree that these 6 things are wonderful? If so, you have a shared vision. Go back to that beginning part. You have a shared vision of a great marriage. Build that. Now again, if this is hard, and I know it can be, if it was easy, you would have done it already. Every couple would just do it. There would be no divorce. It would just be that fast. If this is difficult, it could be those attachment issues getting in the way. Again, check out the Attachment Bootcamp video course. That'll be linked below. Check that out. It's available to you. You can go through it together, and it will drive some of these conversations. If you're not sure which ones to have, the course will show you which ones to have. But following these steps, fixing your attachment and fixing the communication, they will get you out of the danger zone. But bare survival is not the goal of a marriage. So let's talk next about how to take these initial steps and weave them into that self-correcting system that so few people talk about. Because building a thriving romantic bond that fulfills both of you and keeps your marriage warm and secure for years to come is right here at your fingertips. Let's talk about supercharging your marriage. Step number 1 of what you can do to do this: reinvent your communication. Do this not just by sort of opening up, but by emphasizing openness and vulnerability on purpose. Most people don't do this until one person has said, I want a divorce. And the other person says, wait, okay, I'll tell you how I'm feeling. And it's usually too late. Emphasize it now. You have nothing to lose, especially if you're headed in that territory anyway. Active listening and understanding. When your partner talks to you, don't shut them down and say, that's wrong. No, you're wrong. No, that's not how it is. It's how they feel. That's how they perceive. Deal with that perception and say, if that's how you feel, what can we do to fix it? That's the proper answer, you guys. That kind of communication that's important. That's voluntary interdependence. That's working together as a team. And notice in there, I didn't say, what can you do or what can I do? What can we do to solve this feeling you're having so that you feel at home with me? Keep going back to that. How can we help you feel at home with me? How can we help you feel at home in our marriage? Whew, there you go. You need to avoid blame. You need to avoid right and wrong. You need to avoid dismissing. It's one of the worst things you can do because it makes the other person believe you will never take them seriously. So work together as that team. Ask more questions. Ask more questions. Step number 2, cultivate deeper understanding and empathy with each other. Look, the journey of growth should be mutual. Empathy, understanding how they feel, is just as important as understanding what they think. Because how they feel is a reality they live inside every day. You need to deal with that reality. The transformative power of understanding them is through the roof, you guys. If you understand them and be curious about them and work with them, you will not be their enemy anymore. You are their ally. A good marriage is about allies against conflict, where you are both working against the same problem instead of each of you working against each other to solve a problem. See the difference? You should be on the same side with the problem on the other side, not a problem between you. You can only get there by understanding how they feel and then accepting that that's how they feel. And then saying, how can we solve this? Now, engage in mutual growth together. Step number 3. There's so many tools available for this. Workshops, therapy, books, all kinds of programs. Again, the Attachment Bootcamp course. Work together to grow in your relationship. Relationships are skill sets, you guys. Many of you, if you have attachment issues, did not learn good skills from your parents. Now you're blindly fumbling around in the dark. It's like a carpenter who decides to open a carpentry shop and has never worked with wood before. So you just sort of hammer some nails into a board and say, there, it's a coat rack. That's the problem of your marriage. You have built a crappy coat rack because you are a crappy carpenter. You need to be a good carpenter. You don't even have to be a master carpenter. You need to be a good carpenter in relationships. How's a carpenter become a good carpenter? Skills and practice. That's what you need. A great marriage is just a set of skills and experiences. That's what a great marriage is built on. The marriages that survive, both people gather and use those skills. I'm trying to throw a lot of tips at you guys here. Here are 2 advanced suggestions I can try to recommend right now to enhance your marriage connection. First, take a moment to watch this video together with your partner. You're probably watching this alone right now saying, how the hell am I going to fix this? That's not going to help because you need mutual understanding about what's happening. You try to apply this stuff, they're going to back off and say, what are you trying now? Open up a dialogue about the direction you both envision for your relationship. Watch this video together. If that conversation goes well, then you could do this next activity together. Second activity here, each of you write down those 3 characteristics you would like to see more of in your marriage. Do that. I mentioned it earlier. I do this at first sessions with couples when they are fighting and screaming at each other and insulting each other. We do this as a practice just to show them that they want the same marriage. They just don't realize it. Write down the 3 things you would like to see more of in your marriage. Think of that as building the perfect recipe for your relationship so you feel at home. Get those 3 things together. You will not be as defensive because you'll see that you're on the same page. Then merge your lists. You'll have those 6 defining qualities of a flourishing marriage that both of you agree on. Now remember, the beauty lies in crafting this shared vision together. This is your contract that you are both agreeing to, the project you're investing in. And when the path seems challenging, you can come back to this. Now, if you're having troubles, if you don't have the skills and you've got yourself in a muddy pit you can't climb out of, and you're both trying, but you're afraid, reach out for some professional help. I am one example of somebody who could help. I have over 15 years of training and experience. I am here to help you. That is my purpose. Don't be afraid. Reach out. Guys, relationships are journeys that you take together. You don't get into a relationship and then boom, it's done. You just sit there. They're a journey you take together through life. From the initial spark, through the challenges you will experience, and you will. I've been married for 15 years. There are challenges you will face. But the strength, the spiral up into a great marriage is about mutual growth and mutual fulfillment and mutual understanding. You're not alone if you're struggling, right? All marriages face some kind of hardship at some point, sometimes early, sometimes long, but all of them face it. You need skills to get out of them. Proactive measures, skills, experiences, prevention is better than a cure. So even if your marriage isn't destroyed today, if it's just not what you want it to be, take these steps. Embrace imperfection. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be going in the right direction. These skills will guide you there. Explain to your partner what you want. Explain what you're trying to do. Like I said, watch this video. That itself will give you a shared vision. But have open communication. It's the bedrock of a lasting relationship. You have the power within you to change and evolve and strengthen your bond. So I encourage couples out there to initiate the dialogue and the practice of this more of exercise, right? The marriage contract. Write a new marriage contract and agree to it as a couple. And remember that I am personally available here for guidance. I am happy to help. Send me a comment, I will read it, or drop me an email at support@adamlanesmith.com. I will personally walk you through fixing your marriage. I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I am here to help, and I encourage you to watch this video with your partner. And if you want another video about marriage, another video that will open your eyes to some harsh truths, I encourage you to join me in the next video, 3 secrets that I keep from my wife. I'll see you there.